Licensed games released as part of a TV series or movie tie-in tend to not fare very well, though there have been a few notable exceptions. Many of these releases come and go in the flash of an eye without more than a second thought. Their fleeting nature sometimes makes it very difficult to obtain accurate info regarding specific details of the game, whether it be features, release information, or hidden secrets. What's more troubling is that as you look further back at earlier and earlier releases, this information becomes increasingly obscure. This holds true even for games released during the prevalence of the internet. Despite the saying that nothing ever vanishes once it goes online, niche details and other unique facts about games are easily lost over time. Even with tools like the Wayback Machine, it simply isn't possible to dredge up everything that's ever hit the web, as forums, social media, and other sites have vanished over the years. Their databases are either lost forever or sit idle on a random storage device, likely long forgotten. It's an all too common tale, and one of the many factors that made digging into this episode's mystery feel, at many times, like a hopeless effort. You see, back in early 2004, there was a Canadian-produced cartoon called Dragon Booster that got picked up by ABC International Television and was subsequently broadcast in the US on the Toon Disney cable network, which was eventually replaced by Disney XD, and the ABC Family Channel, which is now known as Freeform. Dragon Booster takes a lot of its narrative inspiration from Arthurian legend, but you wouldn't guess that by its looks. Set in a world where humans and dragons coexist, the story revolves around a teenager named Arthur Penn who ultimately becomes the legendary Dragon Booster, a hero that rides a special dragon and is destined to prevent another dragon-human war. The unique hook to this tale is that in the futuristic world of Dragon Booster, humans race their dragons against each other. There are several different types of dragons, and each has unique abilities, which are then amplified by the gear they wear. Combine the racing and combat elements with the show's unique cel-shaded animation, and you can see why somebody would be interested in turning Dragon Booster into a game. That's exactly what Konami of America thought. The company unveiled Dragon Booster during a press event in January of 2005, describing the game as a fast-paced, third-person racing action combat game for the Nintendo DS. It released at the end of the year and was critically panned by most outlets, such as IGN, GameSpot, and X-Play, citing control issues and a lack of variety in the tracks and racers. The TV series didn't fare much better. After its third season, poor ratings kept it from being renewed, and it was ultimately canceled despite a planned fourth season from the creators. The show was rebroadcasted in syndication for several years, but the last episode that aired was nearly a decade ago. The full catalog never made it to home video either, with only a single DVD released from Funimation containing the first 4 episodes. A trailer on the DVD advertised the next volume, but Funimation said the release was dependent on the sales of the first. Additional DVDs were released outside of the US, but none of them contain all 39 episodes that originally aired. In all honesty, a game like Dragon Booster and the series it was based on would have never registered on our radar if not for the dedication of a small but passionate fan base that still carries the torch for this long-forgotten cartoon. Many years ago, an avid fan of pop fiction sent in a request, and we made a promise to dig into a certain mystery surrounding the Dragon Booster game for the Nintendo DS. After a years-long wait, we're happy to finally oblige. You see, this Dragon Booster fan pointed out that within the original DVD release, there are bonus features that include cheat codes for the DS game. However, there are only 3 cheat codes presented. Since the DVD also includes a trailer for the second volume, it stands to reason that there may be more codes available for the game. Yet, as stated earlier, Funimation never released the second volume, so the question posed to us was a simple one. Were there more codes planned for release? And what were those codes? And with that, we begin our journey into trying to make one fan's wish come true. To recap, Funimation released a DVD volume for Dragon Booster called Release the Dragon in February of 2006 that includes 3 cheat codes for the DS game. So we started by tracking down a copy of this DVD. Funimation no longer sells the DVD directly, likely due to a combination of no longer owning the rights and having ended production of the DVD over a decade ago. So we had to turn to the second-hand market to secure a copy from eBay.
Dragon Booster.
Once the DVD arrived, we popped it in, checked out the extras as instructed, and found the 3 cheat codes as described. The first unlocks the ability to control Shadow Booster. The second turns all of the draconium bars into sushi. And the final code allows you to enter into a duel against the human racer Reaper and his dragon Prophecy. Also included in the extras are trailers for upcoming Funimation releases, one of which is a trailer for the next DVD volume of Dragon Booster called Down City Cruise. We tried to track down this DVD release, but came up empty-handed as expected. According to the Dragon Booster fan site Dragon City, Funimation said that the release of more episodes on DVD depended on the sales of the first volume. The only reason we bothered to search for a release of this DVD, despite the fan site's claim, was because of the Coming Soon trailer found in the extras of the Volume 1 DVD, which contain a shot of the packaging for Volume 2. Why would Funimation go to the trouble of designing the packaging if it didn't intend to release it? We reached out to Funimation to get a statement, but despite their attempts to provide some answers, it was a dead end. It's likely anyone involved in the production of the Dragon Booster DVD has long since left the company, and also just as likely that it was such a low-key release that if somebody was around then, they probably have forgotten all about it. Not to mention, it's also possible that Funimation no longer has the license and therefore isn't allowed to comment on the matter. Regardless of the reasons, it was clear we weren't going to get any information regarding the DVD releases from Funimation, nor any possible details from them about the codes for the DS games. In addition, we tried accessing the URLs provided on the DVD for the Funimation product page and the Dragon Booster official site. Both no longer work, so we turned to the Wayback Machine. The Funimation page provided no new information, was largely just a page to sell the product. We were unable to access the official Dragon Booster site via the Wayback Machine because the domain owner has blocked access, preventing Wayback from displaying archived versions of the now defunct site. In Canada, though, there was a second DVD release called Grip of the Dragon, but according to the Dragon City fan site, it contains no bonus features. We had to rely on their verification because for months, we could not track down a copy of this DVD. No listings were found on eBay, and the Amazon listing said it was unavailable to purchase even from third-party vendors. This was true of both sites' Canadian counterparts, too. Australia saw 2 DVD releases for the show containing episodes 1 through 4 and 5 through 9, but neither one contains any bonus features at all. Again, it was the same situation for these 2 releases as the Volume 2 Canadian release. No listings were found, so we have to rely on the information provided to us by the fan site Dragon City. The only result that ever came up in our searches was the original Funimation DVD release, regardless of which country's eBay, Amazon, or online shop we used to search. Now that the DVD search had reached its end, it was time to see if any of the fan communities or sites had any information about cheat codes for the DS game. While the fan sites only mentioned the codes found within the DVD's extras, several others turned up much more promising results. On GameFAQs, there are 11 cheat codes listed for Dragon Booster submitted by 2 users. 3 of those codes match the ones found in the DVD extras, but sources for the other 8 were a mystery. The listings for these 8 new codes are identical in format to the 3 found in the DVD, so with the new codes in hand, we decided to try them out in the game. We started with the original 3 found in the DVD, and to no surprise, they unlock what they claimed. Then we turned to the other 8 codes, and one by one we entered them into the game. Each one works as well, unlocking various bonuses and cheats for the game. As exciting as this was, it left us with new questions. Were these 8 additional codes the ones that had been planned to be released in the future DVD releases? If not, how did the users who submitted these codes come across them? For the first question, the only one who could provide an answer other than Funimation would be Konami. We reached out to our contacts at Konami to try to get to the bottom of the matter, but after waiting for some time now, we've yet to receive an official reply. At the same time, to answer the second question, we tried to reach out to the 2 users on GameFAQs who supplied the codes. Both our private messages and email requests went unanswered, so we tried contacting various other contributors listed for the codes and walkthrough sections. We've yet to hear back from any of these contributors. What's even more frustrating is that the discussion board for the game has 2 measly threads, none of which helped us get any closer to the answer. After searching extensively through fan forums and other sites that list the 11 cheat codes, there were virtually no threads about the DS game. The few that we could track down were mostly about how to enter the cheat codes properly, since the interface for the codes is a bit cumbersome, as most places list them as a series of numbers, whereas the game interface only shows symbols. Like us, players were trying to discern which symbols correspond to which numbers. For those wondering, the top row of symbols are odd numbers 1 through 13, with 1 being on the left and 13 on the right, and the bottom row of symbols are even numbers 2 through 12, with 2 being on the left and 12 being on the right. However, there were no discussions about how the codes were uncovered, leaving us no closer to the truth. We've reached out to the staff at some of the Dragon Booster fan sites and forums for assistance, but so far, every lead has gone cold. Just when we were ready to throw in the towel and call it a day, one of our Hail Mary attempts paid off. We followed one of our last-minute leads and tracked down a source who had intimate knowledge of the game's development, which we were able to verify after some back-and-forth exchanges. The source revealed two critical answers to the mystery of the Dragon Booster cheat codes. First, that the 11 codes found on GameFAQs and various other cheat code sites are in fact the only codes for the game. There were no additional codes programmed into the game. Second, around the time of the game's release, the codes were officially made public, which would reveal how they ended up on GameFAQs and other sites. So there you have it. After a decade of fans waiting for any type of update on the Dragon Booster series, something as small as this confirmation for the DS game should come as welcome news. Who knows? Maybe there's hope that this obscure cartoon could see the light of day once again.